Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a truly fascinating anatomical journey into one of the most hardworking, yet totally underappreciated organs in the human body. We're going to be looking at exactly what happens inside the stomach, and, we're going to treat it just like a highly automated biological factory. Okay, let's dive into this. It's a question we rarely stop to ask ourselves, right? We sit down, we enjoy our food, and we basically just let our bodies do all the heavy lifting. But I want you to imagine something for a second. Picture shrinking down to a microscopic size and hopping on for a ride right alongside a bite of your absolute favorite meal. What exactly is that journey going to look like? What unseen mechanical and chemical marvels are waiting for that bite the very moment it leaves your mouth? Now, you might think the whole process starts when the food actually hits your tongue, but digestion actually begins in the brain, well before you even take that first bite. It's known as the cephalic phase of digestion, and there's this amazing instant mind-body connection happening here. When you just anticipate eating, like maybe you smell something delicious, or honestly even just think about lunch, your brain starts firing off impulses directly to your stomach. These impulses tell the stomach to start pumping out digestive secretions right away. And not only that, but the upper part of the stomach, which acts kind of like a reservoir, actively begins to expand just to prepare for what's coming. Literally, your factory is powering up the machinery before the raw materials have even arrived at the loading dock. Let's move to and see how this builds. We are going to travel through 4 main checkpoints today: the cardia, the fundus, the body, and finally the pylorus. Each zone has a highly specialized task. First stop, the cardia. This is the physical entry point to the stomach. Think of it quite literally as the security door to our factory. It's a strong muscle right at the entrance that acts exactly like a mechanical valve. Once the food drops in, this valve's main job is to close the top of the stomach up tight, sealing the entrance behind the food to keep everything contained exactly where it needs to be. Fun fact, when this security door malfunctions and lets acid leak backward into your esophagus, that is exactly what causes heartburn. So once our bite of food securely passes through that valve, it drops into our next zone, the fundus. This is the very top part of the stomach, serving as the primary landing zone and collection area. But what's really wild here is what actually accompanies the food. With every single bite we take and every single time we swallow, we bring air down with us. The fundus is the exact spot where both that incoming food mass and all of that swallowed air are collected together. And the fundus doesn't just passively sit there. It is an extremely adaptable structure. This is where the stomach volume really starts to respond to your meal. The more food that passes through the cardia, the more the fundus actively expands to hold it all. It's this beautifully dynamic organ, constantly stretching and adjusting its own internal volume in real time just to accommodate the exact size of the meal you're eating. From that holding area, the food drops into the main working floor of the factory, the body. This is where the physical mass of your food finally meets some intense chemical processing. This massive middle section is the core area, where a vital liquid called gastric juice is actively produced and then relentlessly mixed with the chewed food that just arrived from the fundus. So, what exactly is doing all this heavy chemical lifting? Well, it's gastric juice, and its main active component is gastric acid. This chemical solution is the absolute powerhouse of the entire digestive factory. In fact, it's so incredibly potent, hovering right around a pH of 1.5 to 2, that it could easily dissolve a metal razor blade. Let's break down exactly what this acid is actually doing, because it has 2 absolutely vital jobs. First, it eliminates bacteria in the food. Our bodies are incredibly efficient at protecting us, and this bath of highly concentrated acid acts as a powerful security measure to neutralize any bacteria that might have hitched a ride on our meal. Second, it prepares the food for the following stages of digestion. The complex, solid mass of our meal just can't move into the intestines as is. It has to be chemically broken down and primed by this juice first. But, it's not just a passive chemical bath. While the acid is doing its work, the factory floor gets highly kinetic. Intense muscular contractions of the stomach wall begin to physically churn the food mass. Imagine a heavy-duty industrial mixer. The stomach wall forcefully works that chewed food, folding it over and over, thoroughly mixing every single particle with that powerful gastric juice we were just talking about. And the whole thing operates on a very specific rhythm. Just 3. Exactly 3 muscular contractions per minute. 3 times every single minute, this powerful wave moves the entire food mass back and forth inside the body of the stomach to ensure a completely uniform mix. So the crucial point is that all of this intense activity, the acidic gastric juice reacting with the food, combined with those rhythmic 3-per-minute muscular churnings, it all has a very specific end goal. Over a certain amount of time, this dual action guarantees that the contents of the stomach are adequately broken down and perfectly mixed. It's transforming that bite of food into a precisely prepped mass, entirely ready for the next phase of its journey. Which brings us to our exit strategy, the pylorus. This is the final checkpoint on our factory tour. It's the highly regulated exit point of the stomach. The stomach doesn't just dump all of its hard work at once. No way. The pylorus acts as a precise quality control mechanism, ensuring that the fully broken down, perfectly mixed food is passed onward into the intestine only in small, manageable quantities. Now, what's really fascinating here is the incredible physical contrast our stomach undergoes. On one side, we have its expanded state, where it has actively adapted and stretched its volume to comfortably hold all that incoming food and swallowed air. But on the other side, we see its reset state. As the pylorus carefully empties those small quantities of food out, the stomach doesn't just stay stretched out. It peacefully and gradually returns to its exact previous size. It neatly resets itself, totally ready to power down until your brain signals that the next meal is on the way. It really makes you look at your lunch differently, doesn't it? From the moment your brain merely anticipates a meal, to the heavy chemical baths, the rhythmic 3-per-minute churning, and the precise, adaptable elasticity of the stomach walls, it is just an absolute marvel of biological engineering. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Next time you sit down to enjoy a meal, will you be able to feel that complex, unseen mechanical factory churning away just out of sight? I hope this explainer has given you a whole new appreciation for the incredible, automated journey happening inside you every single day. Thanks for joining me, and keep learning.